All right, welcome to our exceptional accept space today. Sir PT, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you so well, thank you.
Awesome. I'm walking outside a little bit, but so you might hear some background noises, but I should be okay for a little bit.
Oh, that's fine. That's totally fine. First of all, thank you for the beats. Let me see. I think that was Crazy Bum. We spoke, you came up on Spaces and we spoke, I believe, 2 weeks ago. Thank you so much for the recommendation of this beat today. That was fantastic. I'm still like feeling the vibe. So today we want to speak about a few things, actually, quite a few developments that have been taking place that are exciting and that our lead will share with you guys. And then also what's going to come up next, when probably, hopefully, maybe you all will be able to use these tools soon enough, and what it actually means, like what will come into your hands, what has been developed, where the tools are going. And well, I just leave it at that. It's very vague from what I'm saying, but I want all the details to come out of our lead. So let's just jump right in. Welcome again, Sir PT. What's happening? What's happening?
Awesome. Thank you very much, M, for hosting again. Also, thank you for changing the time to fit my schedule a little bit. Um, yeah, sure. I'll start with an update of the development that's being pushed out either as we speak or within the next few hours or days, which are on the alpha testing version of the bot. We've completed the multi-wallet management, so we'll be pushing out multi-wallet for the alpha testing, and shortly after that will be pushed out for the marketception as well. So multiple wallets can be used on those tools. Um, some other things as well, which would be position management. That's a very big one that has been in development for quite some time. And we have the option to, whenever you buy a token, you would see instantly the P&L on that position, and you can see the P&L for that token on your different wallets as well. I'm sure there will be screenshots of this following shortly. Um, the selling buttons and percentages have been updated, switching between the buy and sell menu, and a lot of seemingly small things have been updated, but these are quite big ones for what we want to use the bot for.
That's awesome. I mean, that's really awesome. I mean, I've been testing it. I saw how last week the update, where you can get all the options. You just post the contract and you actually like it immediately picks up the whether you have the token, you don't have the token, and the buy menu comes up and all of that stuff. So a lot of new options have been added throughout this time, and now multi-wallet, that makes it now a sophisticated sniper tool where you can actually use it with multiple wallets. So does that mean that the MEV will be tied to also the other wallets. So like the secondary or the third wallet can also be just approved and just, be used basically as the same as the first wallet.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. It does mean that you would have to approve the tokens for each wallet individually, because that's from a wallet a contract interaction. So you would have to approve each wallet for those tokens, but that's right, you can use multiple wallets for the MEV, no problem.
That's excellent. Will that also work with the market making, with the marketception capability on the multiple wallets?
Yeah, it does. And that's a big one actually, because if you check out the Marketception tool, you will see that a lot of buy and sell transactions would come from the same wallet, and grid trading that way. And it can be very useful that you would have one asset in one wallet, ETH, for example, and you would have a different asset, the token, on a second wallet, and you perform the buys with one and the sells with the other. So you have can set different zones, but also um, setting up different base tokens at some point. That's very interesting as well. If you would have a third wallet where you would have USDT, for example, and use that as a base token to trade, that could be very interesting as well. So the multi-wallet feature for Marketception is very big from a user perspective, but also from an ambassador perspective. Now imagine if you're an ambassador and you're helping different projects with Marketception. You don't want to put that all in the same wallet and mix that up. So it would be ideal for some to set separate wallets for each project.
Absolutely. Wow. Absolutely. I mean, you can also, when you do market making, oftentimes you want to market make from different wallets, not just one wallet. That's why I was asking. Like, you want to do um, basically you counter trade yourself. You buy on one, you will buy on one wallet, you sell on the other wallet, and then they counter trade each other. And so it's much better to have multiple wallets to do that. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely the case.
So is there some limitation to how many wallets you can actually plug in and use there?
Yes, in the current stage that we've limited it to 3 wallets, but we did get some feedback from users that it would be ideal to have a large number of wallets optionable for users to implement, especially from the ambassador's perspective. But some people really get into trading with a lot of wallets, sniping and triggering a lot of smaller buys on separate wallets as well. So ideally, we start off with 3, and ideally we ramp that up to a larger number, that would make sense from a user perspective.
Definitely, very good. I mean, obviously, you can always use a secondary Telegram account, and then you have another 3 wallets. I mean, if you wanted to, and a third Telegram account and all of that stuff. I mean, you still have those
Absolutely.
options, right?
I've
So,
seen
okay,
those videos where somebody's farming with 10 mobile phones on in front of them. So you could
exactly,
definitely
exactly. I
go
mean,
that way.
you can go crazy in different ways of how to use these tools or go around those limitations. But it's just good to know. I think yeah, a higher limit is definitely better, but for testing purposes, I'm sure that's enough.
Yeah, and
Okay,
we
so
applaud that, because the more transactions that go through our system, the better it is for the MEV user. So be my guest, go for it.
right, sounds about right. I like that. I like that. So we have that market making tool that has been released kind of quietly in the background to the ambassadors, and now the alpha testers also got it into their hands. I got it like a few days ago, but I haven't actually gotten around to test it. So what were the findings of those people that are actually using it already? And did actually 1 or 2 projects already started using the market making capability of the tool?
Yeah, we got some very good feedback, and we went on a exploratory call or a demo call where we would set up the MarketCeption tool with an ambassador, go through all the steps to set it up, and basically that was a test case, because ideally this tool is combined with some marketing, and that the tool is being used and that type of stuff. So it's being tested still to refine the strategy, and it will be pushed out in with more transactions and more volume shortly. But to answer your question, yes, a project has started testing it out and is preparing for their initial push. And we're in talks with the different projects to onboard as well and start testing the tooling.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to actually start testing it too. So I know, we were talking about multi-chain capabilities, especially currently there's way more volume on Solana. We're seeing some volume also creep into other chains, like other EVM chains. Polygon seems to be maybe the next, who knows. Um, how are you planning on expanding the chain capability of the tooling to other chains as well, so people can actually use it multi-chain?
That's an excellent question, and that debate actually came up quite often last couple of weeks, because everybody noticed that the volume shifted from ETH the last periods to different chains, and like you mentioned, Solana has taken a quite substantial amount of volume, and a lot is happening over there. So we definitely discussed if we wanted to expedite the process for multi-chain capability, but that would push out our release date a little bit. So we carefully thought about it, and we are going multi-chain, and but we're pushing that out a little bit so we can complete the initial products on ETH, and start onboarding users in that rollout, because we don't want to shift to a different chain and basically um, uh, delay the release with a couple of weeks to chase a different chain and chase that volume. So um, first we
in
launch on ETH,
in
and then we
in
launch to
essence,
different chains.
right. So in essence, yes, you're going to give the tooling for different chains, but it's not the highest priority. Highest priority is uh, releasing it to the public on ETH, and then you're gonna give multi-chain capability. Now that's a very interesting thing, because a lot of tooling, we've seen Banana, we know Maestro, a lot of these tools, and they've been quite, ETH is the mother chain. That's where we stick to. I mean, Banana now expanded into Solana, but it took them quite a while to catch on. Um, that means a lot, actually. If you do provide the capabilities you have on different chains, that's going to be a game changer for a lot of people. Now, is MEV something that can be used even? I'm not sure. I mean, I've seen, like sort of MEVs on like front run bots on Solana, but I'm not sure if that's actually a thing. Like, how does that work? Is that something that actually can be done? MEVs on Solana, and also would the market making work on Solana as well? And the same question I will post for Polygon and some other EVM chains, maybe.
Yes, let's start off with Solana. We're quite fortunate enough that our tech lead is quite skilled, and is more than capable to run on Solana and port the products to the Solana chain. Um, but for ETH, we started out with the MEV bot development, and then completed that with the other utilities. For Solana support, that will be the other way around, because it's faster to deploy the other tools, and investigate the MEV capabilities and what's required, estimate those tasks, and then when that's feasible for us, we would go with the MEV bot as well. And it kind of depends as we go along. If we spot more opportunities to first deploy, for instance, the marketception and the trading tooling, and also to other EVMs before we deploy MEV bots to those, because on Solana developing MEV would take more development resources, which we potentially could use better on different chains. Now, for other EVM chains, um, that's well, more easy is not the correct term, I guess, but it's different because it's very similar to ETH, obviously, and it depends on the EVM, of course. So Arbitrum would not be possible to run the MEV because they run something like a first come first serve block building or block ordering. So that would not be possible. So it's depending investigation, and um, uh, we can definitely eventually run MEV bots on those if it's capable.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I said, I mean, Solana obviously has some front running bots happening. I've been front run as well. Polygon definitely has MEVs, so that's why I was just touching up on whether you will or not actually look into these areas. And your answer was yes. So that's another exciting thing. We won't be just restricted into one chain. And looking at what's happening, memes are driving volume, and memes are also what is being what MEVs are being used on mostly, because the 0 tax. Most memes, that's just like the characteristic most of the time, at least, unless we're talking about high cap altcoins. And those are actually moving from chain to chain, and I think in this coming cycle we'll see you know volume going across different chains. And so it's really, really good to have a team that is able to like act, not chasing like everything, like Inju, for instance. That cycle, or that Inju hype lasted for like 2 weeks and it was over. That would have been like a goose chase to develop something for that. But I mean, something that is sustainable and has been around for a while, like Solana, like Polygon, that's really exciting, because I think people will actually put their money there, use it, and then still gain the reward points on ETH and in form of the accept token, I assume. So that's all tied into the gamification and ecosystem. So that's exciting. Okay, so we're having this marketception, market making bot capability. Then we have the trading, and we have the MEV. All of that combined is the first product that will be given to people once it goes live, right? So the whole thing will be given to people once it goes live.
Yeah, that's correct. Pending everything is marked off and ready. There might be a very short stage release, but those will be a very short following each other. But technically, you could say that the full product release would be at the same time. I think we're very comfortable with our testing so far, and that we will be capable to roll out everything at once.
That's fantastic. That's really, really good. So in December, you kind of hinted at in February, March sort of thing. Is that still in? Is that still like the horizon that you're looking at potentially? And I know you can't nail it down to exact date, but I'm just asking about the rough horizon.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I can affirm, and to give some perspective on that, the task that has gotten to the priority right now is starting to implement referral functionalities in the Telegram bot. So those are in preparation stage for onboarding and product release.
Excellent. So that means once it comes out, I mean, I think we all have seen the success of these tools like BonkBot and some of these other Magnum Bot and whatever they are called on Solana that all of a sudden popped up, and they all, you know, spread like wildfire because of the referral, and I think everybody had like 10 referral links from 10 friends or something. I don't know, but in essence everybody started using those tools, and Accept is an exceptional tool that has a lot of unique features that other bots don't have, so I assume that, you know, a lot of people would want to actually use it the first day. So
Yeah.
having it tested and, you know, being around now for a couple of weeks, almost months, and having gained trust also from the community, I think, you know, it's going to be easy for people to adopt it quite quickly.
Yeah, I fully agree, and I can touch on a little bit on the timeline so far, because our initial product would be releasing the Trader, Sniper, and MEV either staged or at the same time. Now we've noticed quite a large opportunity in the marketception, and what that did for in the first tests for our ecosystem, we really noticed an uptick in MEV transaction when we bundled those marketception transactions together. So that offered a opportunity to um, uh, give a little bit more attention in that area. So it would be of benefit of the users when they were onboarded. So it would really benefit their user experience and just as an ecosystem overall. So that was something that took a little bit of time. That in the initial timeline was not anticipated because we wanted to release the marketception after, but we've noticed the tremendous value that offered in the ecosystem. So we pushed that earlier a little bit.
Sounds good. Sounds very good. So my God, I think, you know, we have, how many people are listening here? Maybe 20, 25 people. I can't really tell right now. But we have these couple people listening here, and we have a few people that are actually active in the community and listening back to these kind of conversations. But I think the rest of the world, the rest of the degen world, and you know, like even higher cap meme coin world doesn't really know what's coming. They don't really realize all the capability and the functionality of these tools. And ones like, you know, Pepe Whales or um, like higher cap meme coin whales start to understand what they can actually do with a marketception tool, and how they can, you know, scale out of their position, scale back in, start playing with the chart without actually like killing it. That's going to be a huge game changer for a lot of people, especially for people with money. And so all of that volume will flow back into the ecosystem, which will feed every single holder and every single user, and that's going to be, well, a fantastic thing to see.
Absolutely, I fully agree. I think we had some data shared in on Telegram, perhaps. Uh, could you did you see that notification of that?
Yeah,
Uh,
let me share that 1 second. I'm about to share it. You mean the past 3 weeks MEF data,
yeah,
sandwich
yeah,
data? Yeah, I'm
yeah.
gonna
I
share
think
that.
that's cool to share.
Okay, here you go. Yeah, so we are seeing a lot of data being collected here on the MEV transactions in the past 3 weeks, and you can see we had a peak a few days ago, and then the market started, you know, dropping, and obviously people had to get out of their positions and not hold on so much, so there were less MEV transactions, but it was really ramping up to a peak of 566 transactions on like the 18th of January, and that's just among alpha testers. And these are just MEV transactions, right? These are buy side and sells. A buy side is done by the by the treasury, and then the sell side is done by the community, mostly by the alpha testers, and that adds up to these numbers. And so you'll see these numbers going
Yeah.
exponentially up once the public is getting hold of these tools. And you can also see in the first 3 weeks, 2,500 sandwiches on the buy side and 102 on the sell side. That means that the treasury has been quite active. So would you say that there has been some changes done on the buy side as well? Uh, or what's happening on the buy side, treasury, MEV transaction side?
So there have been we've done some improvements on the efficiency. We've added some other additional block builders to increase the landed bundles. The bundling with other transactions has happened. So that's on the buy side, and we've noticed that we'll be testing with the playing around with some parameters and finding the ideal set for whenever the transaction is bundled, if we can widen up the profit margin in that regard, and what that does with the amount of landed bundles. And we've noticed transactions being combined with the user sell side and the treasury side. So that's interesting data that will be collected. And as you can see with the this is our custom data collection, not from a open website to collect all this stuff. This is all custom collected and checked. So we'll be collecting a lot of this data and playing around with that to find the ideal for both the treasury side and the user side to optimize parameters that way.
That's fantastic. Let me just quickly check on the treasury's size, because I remember last time I checked, it was still using kind of a testing amount, like the treasury was not like fully scaled. But let me just check. Yep, we're still around like 18 grand in the treasury. Is this something like once all the testing is done, that the treasury will be starting to scale up into much larger sizes, and then we'd see it competing actually with sizes of Jared and so forth?
Yeah, not at first actually, because if you see the majority of the MEV transactions are actually either there's sub 10 ETH mostly. Only a
Mm.
handful are very large, and if you check the larger transactions, that will be like the arbitrage or the just-in-time liquidity provision MEV, and those are functionalities that we still need to develop. So we don't need those type of funds on the treasury just yet to optimize. So they will be that will be useless. So it might be more interesting to collect data on the proper sell side tokens, and if no interesting token pops up for opportunities, that we would target those tokens from the treasury if no user has done so yet. So we don't leave any opportunities on the table in that regard. So those are things that we're exploring, and but a very significant size for instance of 200 WETH on the contract, that's not required yet, because we need to roll out the other functionalities first for that to be properly utilized.
That's fantastic. That's really, really fantastic. Okay, man, I think we covered a lot of ground. I'm very, you hinted to a date without actually saying it, but you affirmed a somewhat of a date that we all had in mind from back in December. And so now, I mean, I personally look forward to when it actually drops and when you will give a full release date, but it's obviously going to be quite soon. So great work as always, amazing team to work with and to be hosting for. I'm very happy to be part of this journey, and thank you everybody for showing up today. I'm
Do
seeing
you
some
mind
really
if I step in real quick? I think
Oh,
we had
absolutely. This is
had a
your space. I'm
question.
just hosting.
I think we had a question from Crazy Bam on the Telegram, and I want to ask if you want to step up and ask your question or repeat your question so we can answer that, and
Oh, sure. Let me
see if
let me
anybody else wants to
require.
pop in.
I don't think he's here actually. Oh, he is here. Okay, let me
Yeah, yeah,
let me see if he wants to speak. Invite to speak. Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to our great supporters, Gems of Ra, Skull, Rich Apes, Pope Smoke, Rio, and everybody else in here that I didn't name. Thanks for coming. We love you. It's awesome to have you.
absolutely.
Um, Crazy Bum, I invite you to speak. If you want to speak, you have to like take the invitation. Otherwise, you can just type the question in Telegram, and SirPT can answer it. Yeah, I think you know the question already, huh? PT, you want to just go ahead and answer it?
Yeah, sure. I think the question was related if um, for a user side to do the buy side MEV, and I think Crazy Bem mentioned a process that he would, as a user, contribute one ETH and one wrapped Ethereum. The ETH would be allocated for gas, and the wrapped Ethereum for the MEV transaction, and to allow users to target the buy side of a specific token, for instance. I think that was the question. Let's see, question right here. Yeah. So to answer that question, that would be a particularly, excuse me, a particularly difficult process to go through on for multiple reasons. Um, One is that our bot now on the buy side basically targets any potential token or any potential transaction that's spotted in the mempool. And the reason for it is because the contract has the the contract has wrapped Ethereum balance. And how the contract works, whatever token it has on balance and is approved internally or whitelisted internally, which is a safety feature for malicious tokens, by the way, um, is it scans every pool that has that token. Now, wrapped Ethereum is basically all or the majority of the tokens. Now, if we would allow that on the user side for one specific token, it we would lose a lot in gas efficiency. Um, that is because if one user would approve one wrapped Ethereum on I think Doge was the example, and another user does the same, it uses way more gas to get all the liquidity required for a one particular MEV transaction, which is would be way more gas efficient to do so on the contract side. So it would create a more complex system, which also would not be as gas efficient as just doing it on the contract side and the treasury side. So that's why the buy side would always be on the treasury side, and the sell side would be on the user side. And that's the reasoning is it generates more yield in the entire ecosystem for all users than splitting it up per user.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Let's see.
Let's see if we can maybe we can lure Rich Apes to say something about the what he thought about the Marketception tool.
Okay, let me ask him. Because not everybody always wants to speak on spaces. Hey, Rich, if you want to
That's true.
speak, give me a hands up or a heart or. Okay, he says he's not available, so you can't. It's okay.
That's okay. All right.
Okay, no worries. So yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground. We're over half the hour. That was, like I said, an amazing spaces, and people should go and listen to it again. There's a lot of alpha hidden in it. Just to recap, they're preparing a multi-chain MEV and market making tool that will be available very soon for people to use. Day one most likely will be just on Ethereum, but then it will also roll out into other environments, other EVMs, but also into Solana. Yeah, a lot of stuff is coming. Referral system will be ready on day one, most likely, where people can start, onboarding their friends and family and grandmothers and whoever else is going to be using it. Yeah, a lot of things are happening and coming your way. Go back and listen to it if you didn't have a chance, because there was a lot of alpha packed into in between the lines and also like right in your face. So thank you very much for all this information. Thanks for coming, and I talk to you next week.
Awesome. Thank you. Until next week.
Mevit, baby.